Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the ugliest jump shots in NBA history. First up, Matt Bonner. Matt Bonner is still one of the league's finest shooters, but that doesn't disqualify him from this list. In 2010 to 2011, the Red Rockets shot 45% from three-point range, but his shooting form is still one of the worst. Next up, Joakim Noah. You gotta love Joakim Noah's game. He hustles, plays hard every time he steps on a court, and is a great locker room person. The Defensive Player of the Year. Noah is already one of the league's greatest players and defenders, but that doesn't explain his shoddy jumper. Next up, Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo has made basketball popular in the Congo, but he started later than most professionals with AAU programs. This could explain Mutombo's unusual jumper. The big man also shoots with his right elbow way too far out, which may be why he never relied significantly on his jump shot. Next up, Chuck Hayes. Chuck Hayes makes the most of his little talent. Hayes is constantly outsized. Although most players his size play shooting guard or small forward, Chuck has always been expected to play power forward or even center. Next up, Ron Brewer. Since joining the NBA, Brewer's tenure appears to be winding down. One explanation is Brewer's offensive liability. A strong defender, Brewer's shooting stroke has always been flawed due to his excessive use of his right elbow. Next up, Wilt Chamberlain. Everyone knows Wilt Chamberlain's numbers, but they weren't because he was shooting from 15 feet away. Chamberlain lacked a good shooting stroke. His lifetime free throw percentage was 51%, which is terrifying considering how many more points he could have scored per game. Next up, Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin was a lethal scorer, not because of his form, but because he consistently hits three-pointers. K-Mart has a difficult windup. He starts with the ball on his right hip, swings it to his left shoulder, and finally releases it near his forehead. Next up, Bill Cartwright. Every kid in the 90s imitated Bill Cartwright's shooting form in some fashion. Cartwright possesses one of the NBA's most unique shots. Unlike some players, Cartwright shot the ball incredibly high. Next up, Taishan Prince. To stop the finest offensive player on the court was more important than scoring. Prince has always been a good offensive player because he can finish at the hoop, but his three-point shooting has always hampered him. Next up, Michael Adams. Adams was drafted 66th overall in 1985, yet he scored over 9,000 career points, proving his doubters wrong. Adams' unusual jump shot earned him a fan favorite. Adams didn't employ a guiding hand either. Not the most basic jumper, but it worked for him. Next up, Don Nelson. NBA fans know Don Nelson was an offensive genius as a coach. He invented the point forward position and the stretch four slot. Most people don't know Nelson possessed one of the league's most distinctive shots. Next up, Tony Allen. Tony Allen is a defensive force on the basketball floor, but he lacks shooting skill. For his size, Allen must play shooting guard or small forward, but his shot has to be perfect to stay on the floor. Allen flings the ball with his shooting hand, making him a poor shooter. Next up, Andre Miller. Most professional basketball players strive to shoot a basketball at the height of their jump, but Andre Miller is one of the few players who has a set shot. Miller isn't known for his leaping ability, but he barely gets off the ground on his dependent set shot. Next up, Anthony Mason. During his career, the big man for the New York Knicks developed his jumper, but it wasn't the most aesthetic. The left-handed power forward shot the ball with his elbow out, preventing a proper arc. Next up, Shaquille O'Neal. A beast on the glass, Shaq had one flaw: his free throws. Shaq has huge hands, like many other big men on this list. Almost like a tennis ball in his hands, Shaq seemed unsure of how much force to use when shooting the ball. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. We'll see you guys next time.